determines your field of study for your degree. So I often like to use the example of biology. If you're interested in taking biology, you want to be a biologist, your degree is not going to be a bachelor's of biology. It's actually going to be a bachelor's of science major in biology. Again, that major is what determines what your actual degree is on. It is mandatory. Again, you have to decide what you're doing your degree in. But the minor, it's completely optional, and it gives you the opportunity to add a secondary area of study to your degree. It's not to the depth and level of your major. You could do 2 majors if you choose to do so. It essentially means that you're earning 2 parallel degrees. It doesn't necessarily mean that it'll take you double the time to graduate, but it will add time to your studies. Completely up to you. Again, you only have to declare 1 major, which will determine your degree. But we do have some students who are fairly ambitious, and sometimes they decide to do a double major. Again, the minor is just optional. Sometimes it doesn't add even any extra time to your degree. And you may be wondering, why would you do this? It is an advantage. Again, I want to stress it is optional, but it makes your degree more unique, more personalized. And if you're looking to work at a very specific field, it could facilitate you finding a job after you graduate. So GPA is something that you'll hear when you're here in Canada. It's just your average, your marks that you're getting in your classes. It's grade point average. That's what it stands for. Then we have credit hour. So credit hour is a term that we use to refer to the courses. So our degrees, our undergraduate degrees, and not only at St. Mary's, but pretty much at any institution here in Canada, it's made out of 120 credits. Typically, this means that you're taking 40 courses because each course will be worth 3 credits. So you're earning credits for credit hours. It means the same thing to finish your degree. Hopefully this makes sense. I'm open to any questions. I know it can be a little bit confusing. It also means that you're doing a little bit of math, because when you want to choose your courses, you're like, okay, do I want to take 9 credits? How many courses does that mean, etc.? Don't get too stressed about this anyway, because it won't be relevant until you're actually ready to enroll in courses. And then semester is a term of study. Typically, we have 3 semesters. We have fall, winter, and summer. Most students only study during fall and winter. Summer, it's completely up to you, but as an international student, you are required to be enrolled in courses in the fall and in the winter. So we do have 5 faculties or 5 schools here at St. Mary's. You see them here. We have arts, commerce, science, environment, and engineering. I'm pretty much going to breeze through this because it's just essentially a list of all the programs that we offer. As you can see, it is pretty long. But if you have anything that you're interested in, this is where you would find it, where you can see what we have available to study. We also have some examples of alumni, of what our alumni go out to do, also to give you an idea of the versatility of a degree. I do encourage students to think beyond the obvious. So don't think that because you have a Bachelor of Arts in so-and-so, you'll be doing exactly that. One of the advantages of the Bachelor of Arts specifically is that they're so flexible. They can open so many doors way beyond what you can imagine. So don't be shy to ask. And another thing that I would like to give you as an advice is to think backwards. So instead of thinking this degree will lead me there, try to think where you ultimately want to be and work backwards from that. So if you see yourself working at a lab, what do you want to do specifically in that lab, and work backwards. Just a personal tip that I would give to students with the experience that I have in post-secondary education. We have some examples. Again, these 2 slides talk or overlap a fair bit. We just want you to think beyond the obvious, and this is just a way to kind of, get those gears turning as to what you could do with a degree. You can see here that the scope is quite big, from a lawyer, which it's a quite common career, to a teacher, to a historian, a social worker, pretty much the world is your oyster. And then our Sovi School of Business, I have talked a fair bit about our Sovi School of Business. This is the list of programs that we offer. Some of them can be done as a minor as well. So for example, if you're interested in accounting and finance, and you don't want to necessarily pick between the two, you can do one as a major and the other one as a minor. You can also do both as a major if you are fairly, I would say brave, but it is entirely up to you. Again, some business stories. One that I like to highlight here, I just think this is a lot of fun, is the first one that we have here from Osama. So Osama is actually now quite a successful business owner. As I showed you in the pictures at the beginning, we are right by the water. We're a port, harbor, coastal city. And he saw this as a big opportunity for business. When he came to St. Mary's and to Halifax, there wasn't a lot of activities to do in the water, even though like there are things around it and businesses, but there's nothing to do in the water itself. And he saw this as an opportunity, and he started a business where you can rent a Sea-Doo or a water bike, where you see him riding here, and just like zip around the harbor. Obviously, you do have to wear a life vest, and there's certain regulations, but it's something that has brought a lot of fun and a lot of life to the harbor and to the city, and obviously has brought him a lot of success as well. So we have another few examples here of what you can do with a Bachelor of Commerce. I said this already, and I'll say it again, try to think beyond the obvious. There's many things that you can do with an undergraduate degree. And again, just give you an idea of how broad that scope can be. Now we go to science or Faculty of Science. So everything that you see here can be done as a major and a minor. I will take a moment here to talk a little bit about medicine, because I do get a lot of questions about medicine. So medicine in Canada, to study medicine, you do have to have an undergraduate degree first. It can be in pretty much anything, but you do have to have some science courses. So what you can see there as the pre-professional stream, it basically means that we have the science courses that will prepare you to go into medical school. We have the School of the Environment. This is a school that sits sort of between our arts and our science faculty. It pulls from both. All the degrees that you see here are fairly interdisciplinary. Depending on your approach, if you want to study more the human behavior, human impact, or the scientific causes behind environmental changes and the environment around us, that would determine which degree you will be taking. Again, we have some examples of what you can do with a science degree or a degree from our School of the Environment. And then last but not least, we have engineering. We do offer engineering at St. Mary's. You can see this slide can be a little bit confusing, and that's because our degree, our engineering program is a little bit different. What we offer is a diploma of engineering that can be turned into an undergraduate degree. So you would be applying to science or engineering at St. Mary's. You do your first 2 years with us. That will earn you a diploma, and you would have basically general engineering courses. You take advantage of life at St. Mary's, the different resources that we have. As I mentioned earlier, a more personalized and familiar learning environment. And then depending on the kind of engineering that you want to do, you would continue at Dalhousie University or University of Windsor. If you choose to do that, that means that in 4 years, not only you have a bachelor degree, you also have a diploma in engineering. And some success stories. I cannot say the same that I did for the other faculties for engineering, because engineering is a bit more specific. I think we all know that. Not to say that there's not a lot of opportunities. Of course, there are, but engineering can be a little bit more specific, because you can end up working specifically just in engineering. And some career options as well. As I just mentioned, typically you'll be an engineer of some kind. Now, that's all about our academic programs. I do want to talk a little bit about student life, which is very important. not only you have to choose what you want to study, we want to make sure that you will be successful at whatever it is that you're pursuing. And we really care about having the services and supports that you need to succeed and to achieve that. This is a list that has some of the things that we offer on campus. It does go beyond this. So if you're looking for something specific, don't be shy to ask me. And if I don't have the answer, I'll be sure to find you the answer. But a couple things I do want to highlight here. We have academic advising and career services. So if you know you want to come to university, but you're not entirely sure what you want to take, you have two options. Essentially, you can take your time to figure that out before you apply, or you can apply and start taking a few courses to get a better idea, what is psychology about, what is biology about, and use that knowledge and that experience to make your decision. We also provide the resources to help you with that, like academic advising or career services. We also have a counseling center on campus, as well as a student health clinic with a doctor and nurses that are there for you in case you have any kind of things that you want to get treated or get looked at or checked up on. We have the services there to make sure you are doing well physically, which also will mean that you will be doing great in your classes. And it's not only about health, it's also about fun. Fun is really important too. And again, and I'm sorry that I'm sounding like a broken record, but this is just a short list. Our clubs and societies, they go beyond this. If we had the whole list, this slide will be quite full. So if you're interested in something that we don't have here, again, just feel free to ask me or reach out. If I don't know, I can find the answer for you. And athletics. So for those of you who are into sports or working out, you can see we have a wide variety of sports available at St. Mary's. We have a gym on campus that you have access to as a student. We also have an NHL-sized ice rink, which is accessible all year round, not just during the winter. And we also have residents on campus. We do strongly recommend international students to stay in residence for the first year, just because it's more convenient. It's about the same price as living on your own, or it can be even cheaper depending on what kind of apartment you're looking for. You're right there on campus. It also facilitates making connections and making friends. And finally, scholarships and deadlines. We have two deadlines depending on when you want to start. You see them right here. We do have renewable entrance scholarships, which are awarded according to your academic achievements. So we're basically just looking at your transcripts from high school to make these decisions. So you can see they go from $2,000 up to $7,000. And these are our admission requirements. These are fairly broad. Keep in mind that we work with students from all over the globe. So if you're taking a curriculum that you don't see reflected here, feel free to ask. We've probably seen it before, and we're prepared to assess it accordingly. Fees and tuition. So this is an approximate because fees have changed recently, not greatly, but we don't have that updated yet. But this is a close enough estimate. Keep in mind that this is made considering that you take 5 courses per semester. This is not mandatory. It is only required that you take 3 courses in the fall and 3 in the winter. After that, it is entirely up to you. This is how to apply. You can apply on your own or through our wonderful agents that are here today. It is fairly straightforward, as you can see here. And that's it for me today. If you have any other questions, you're welcome to reach out to our partners, which are in market, or you can reach out to me directly. My email is there as well. So I'm just going to open it up in case there are any questions.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Atif. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Good, thanks. Do you have any questions for me today?
Yes, I have a question. Is there any medical field in this university?
No, we don't have. we don't have a medical school, but you do have to have an undergraduate degree before you apply to a medical school in Canada. So while we don't have a medical school, we do have degrees that prepare you to get into a medical school.
Okay. I am a medical undergraduate student, and I am searching for a master. I'm doing my master degree from Canada. So, is there any medical field in this university?
We do have some master programs related to more like medical administration. I'm an undergraduate recruiter, but I can put in the chat a link. Let me find the chat here for graduate degrees. Just one second.
Thank you.
So,
Mr. Atif, what is your last qualification? Please tell me again.
What, sir?
What is your last qualification?
My last qualification is BSc Nursing.
BSc Nursing.
BSc Nursing.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
okay, so I'm just putting in the chat the link for graduate programs. I see a couple questions here. So we do have several business programs. If you already have a bachelor, you might be looking for a graduate degree. You can find them in the link I just provided. As for the insect situation, I mean, I would say it's just like any other city. Some cities have a few more mosquitoes, for example, than others. I don't think it's too bad here in Halifax at all, even the peak of summer. You might get a few fruit flies around your produce in the summer, but that's about it. Do we have any other questions? Wonderful. Well, if anything else comes up down the road, my email is there, or you can reach out to our agent on market, as I just mentioned, and the email is there as well, Mr. Farouk. It was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much for attending, and I hope to be talking to you soon.
And thank you very much. And I hope we will welcome you in Pakistan so that we can conduct seminars in different cities like Lahore, Islamabad, Karachi. So I hope you will have very good time. And I follow up all these students, especially who registered and could not attend today event.
For sure.
Okay. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you.